ladies and gents, welcome to War Thunder with Mags, and welcome to a double match in the F8F Bearcat. Now obviously this isn't the F8F Bearcat straight up. I'm starting with my arcade battle in which I led with the Mustang, and I'm hoping to showcase in this video one of the problems with the F8F, and it does have a problem that's completely unrelated to its performance in game. The problem is it's too good, and it doesn't really have a spot where it can live safely at the moment. But I'll come to that later. Mustang coming in, Spitfire goes underneath. Yep, not going to turn. Drop nose, try and speed away. But this is arcade mode. Spitfire can do a 180 and reverse its dive and immediately run down a Mustang, so I try and break back out. Premium Spitfire coming in on me too. I was very popular in this match, I can't work out why. Trying to climb for altitude back towards my teammates. Two Spitfires on me. Not much I can do, I'm just a target here. Thought I might be able to get a burst in a dive into this one of these Fokker Wolves. Or this BF-109, but the damage I've got is making the Mustang hard to handle at the moment. Still got a hit. Just trying to keep speed on to outrun these. I'm looking back behind me at the moment, thinking, yeah, I've cleaned out about 3Ks. I should be clear to make a turn. And yeah, going nose to nose was never a good idea, but I was never going to outrun it. And so, respawn back in the F8F Cannon Cat. 420mm cannons, and this thing is just a beast. Go straight for altitude. Now, keep in mind here, we're already 2 minutes into the battle, and I've managed to get one kill. When you're flying the Mustang into really high tier prop battles like this, there is a tendency to feel a little bit like prey. But flying the Bearcat, you're most certainly the hunter. And through, I know there's a TA-152 in the area. That's another super prop that needs to be mentioned. And let's make no mistakes here. The F8F is a super prop. It is one of the most powerful piston propeller-driven aircraft ever created. And when you think about it, there's almost one for every nation. The Americans have the F8F Bearcat. The Germans had the Arrow. The British had the Sea Fury. You know, the LA-9 would certainly qualify as a super prop on the behalf of the Russians, and although I'm sure they've got some more super high performance propeller driven aircraft around, the only one I'm unsure about is the Japanese, but I know they had a lot of prototypes that were going around too. I'm sure they have something that's insanely powerful as well. And this is just a slaughter from this point on. At the moment I'm not even using keyboard controls, I'm just swinging the mouse around, putting the cursor on the target, pulling the trigger. Actually, I think I was drinking a coffee while I was killing those guys. It's just so obscenely powerful, and keep in mind this Bearcat isn't fully upgraded yet. It is into its level 3 modifications, but it's nowhere near finished. I've still got all the level 4 performance mods to put on this aircraft yet. So we were 2 minutes into the match, or a little over, when I spawned the P51. When I spawned the Bearcat in after I lost the P51. The whole match only lasted 4 minutes and 51 seconds. So a kill every 60 seconds or less. And that's even, you know, on average, and that's with me picking out and hunting targets. It's a powerful machine. But let's see how it does in RB. My standard issue takeoff, fold up the flaps, flatten the throttle, try and keep the elevators low, just get it just off the ground and then level it out, try and get maximum airspeed up. I normally stay on the ground for longer than I just did, but I wanted to get clear of the area. There was a little bit of havoc happening on the runway back there. Now, I keep props out for this Sea Meteor. It's a constant that when people see them in battle, they think of them as jokes. Watch this guy, he rocks this battle, and so does our A-26 Invader, another bomber that is considered to basically be a giant XP pinata in this match. Now, our A-26 pilot does not survive, but he does take first place out. He basically wipes out every soft target on the map for the Germans have before they manage to kill him. So let's fast forward a little bit further into the battle. First target's identified, the counter for our Meteor F3, they have a HE-162. Dangerous little plane in the right hands. I'm always wary of them, even though most of the time you encounter them, they are non-effective in combat due to inexperienced pilots on board. But it's best to be wary of them at all times, because that one time you automatically disregard it will be the one time there is an ace 162 pilot in there who will promptly rip your entire team in half, and there will be nothing you can do to stop it. So our Meteor pilot's going straight in on him. He actually shot a message through a few seconds before to let us know that he'll take the jet, just to support him and keep eyes open for their props. It's nice to see a jet pilot that does the right thing, and one of our F8F pilots is going to follow him in too. I'll tip it over, and my plan was to try and keep a little bit of altitude on the 162, get it up enough airspeed, follow it in this spiral and pull up slightly above, but I hit the overspeed warnings. And I was very, very, very close to ripping my wings there, so I had to pull out. Unfortunately, the direction I was heading when I pulled out put the 163, or the 162 rather, flying in the opposite direction, so I wasn't able to maintain airspace just above it. So I'll climb back for altitude, start looking for props. There's now multiple targets on the 162. It's either going to die or it's going to get away. In either case, I'm not going to make any difference by going over there. Now, as I was saying before, the problem with the Bearcat, it's too powerful, I feel, even for Era 4 aircraft. But it's not powerful enough to go into Era 5. This is another aircraft that can be added to the list of why there needs to be 6 eras and not 5. With the 6th era being Korean War, Era 5 being post-war. Now, the most time this has been mentioned is in regards to the 262 not being powerful enough to fight Korean War jets, and it's completely correct, it's not. It should be in an Era 5 post-war category, and that Era 5 post-war category should carry the F80, not the F80C, the original F80 models. For jet comparison to the 262, it would be things like the Bell Air Comet. The F3 Meteors would live in this category, along with the 162. The 163 should probably be in this category as well, but it would actually be at the higher end of it. I've actually put it at a higher battle rating than I would the 262. Just getting the dive in on this Focke-Wulf 190. Following it through its roll. Shoot a little low. Oh. Way too much spray there. Not aiming my shot well enough. Killed the engine. Back under wet. Hits that I have done have critically damaged the aircraft. It's unable to maneuver out of the way. Fireballed. Kill number 1. Now I am taking shots here. Another 190. Roll over, full combat flaps, pull underneath it. The manoeuvrability of the F8F means that the Dora simply cannot follow these manoeuvres. 90-degree turn, continue the pushover. So I'm spiralling back underneath the D13. Leaves it opened up, and there goes the Sea Meteor taking another kill. The situational awareness of that Sea Meteor pilot was incredible. Every time one of the prop fighters got into a turn fight or into an evasive situation with one of the Germans on their tail, he showed up. Every single time they were looking like, well, I wasn't really in trouble there, but it wasn't me at a clear advantage, and instantly he would appear and either cripple or completely kill the aircraft. He just dominated the match. Just blowing all my energy here, all my airspeed here to try and get some altitude. I need the altitude on the D13. I'm not going to catch this one in a straight line, it's got too much going on. But if I get some altitude up, once I eventually close in on it again, I'll be able to dive back down. Now, as I was saying, the German jets basically being in an Era 5 category, with the remaining jets that are in this game at the moment, gardening a few exceptions, moving up to an Era 6 would be ideal. But the other thing, most of these post-war or late-war jets had fairly low performance. F8Fs compete reasonably well with 162s, or actually very well with 162s, and against Meteor F3s if you have to take them on. F8Fs perform extremely well. Things like the German Arrow and the Sea Fury, which is on the release list, are also aircraft that would perform incredibly well against these very early generation jets and all the problems that they had. Make that what Era 5 is about, an area where the super props, the most powerful props developed by each nation, mingle with the very first generation of jet aircraft. The balance would be surprisingly good in that area. The jets are low enough performance that the super props, they're only slightly faster in most cases than the super props. The super props like the F8F, of course, carry more firepower and are far more manoeuvrable. They also have better acceleration, and in many cases the propeller-driven aircraft will have a higher climb rate. This would be an ideal area to split the areas and create a boundary between the sort of standard prop fighters that get dragged in some really nasty battles at the moment, and the high-end Korean jet fighters, while at the same time giving the really low-end jets and the really high-end props somebody to fight that's actually going to be a decent competition. Because as you can see right here, this is just a curb stomp. I'm really not in any threat. I've just dropped back onto the end of this D13. My biggest issue here is my bad shooting causing me to run out of ammo. Being a lot more conservative here, second kill. I've got 293 rounds of ammunition on board. Still got 13 minutes of fuel. Me and the Sea Meteor are all that's left, but there's only 4 AI left to hunt down. So yes, anyway, in my opinion, this is the F8F problem. It's simply too powerful even for high Era 4 in its current state. It's not powerful enough to be going into Era 5, which is a jet category anyway. There's same as the 262, not being powerful enough for an Era 5, but being massively overpowered for an Era 4 aircraft. They don't have homes at the moment. When the Sea Fury comes in, which is on the release tree, it's going to fall into exactly the same problem as the Bearcat. The Sea Fury is totally going to dominate in any Era 4 matches it gets into, and providing it doesn't get faced up against things like the F9F Panther, the Sabre, MiG-15s, ultra high-end MiG-9s, it's going to perform well in jet matches too, even though it's a prop. This is a problem. This just leads to an aircraft that is capable of totally dominating matches in its own level. And there are aircraft above that have problems that need reverse. The F3 Meteor is another one. The F3 Meteor, this was a great F3 Meteor pilot, and this was a perfect match where it was top tier. But if you reverse it around and start putting it against an F3C Meteor or against MiG-9s and, you know, MiG-15s, high-end Sabres, F9Fs, it gets destroyed. It simply doesn't have the performance to be able to fight, and it's a death sentence bringing it out. Having 6 errors and making error 5 a super prop and very first and prototype generation jet category would create a spot where these aircraft could live, be competitive with one another, create a boundary preventing the other props that aren't so powerful, such as the P-51s, getting dragged into jet battles, prevent the jets from being able to get further down, and create a hole where these aircraft, the greatest of the props and the newest of the jets, are able to fight without either curb stomping everybody they face or getting curb stomped by whatever they're lined up against. I'm still just hunting around here looking for these AI. I've no idea where they are. It turns out they were flying almost on top of the enemy base. Actually, I think I'll just skip forward and I'll leave the AI kills in for this one, because I think it's worth having a look at exactly how powerful these guns are. So it's about 4 minutes later, the F3 Meteor pilot spotted the dots. Now these are DO 217Ns, this is what the AI is flying. So these are fairly durable aircraft, and I only have 280 rounds left after my fight. First burst into the 217N. I just leave it go. Engage Shoji with the second, down to 223 rounds of ammo. Shoji's dead. 114 rounds remaining. First DO 217 has been destroyed. These things take a few hits to take down, but the cannons on the Bearcat are so powerful, more than enough ammo. I actually probably overdid it on Shoji in this. So just fall back on Ryan. Actually missed a couple there. That's ammo dry, but the aircraft's critical. I've blown off its elevators, I've taken off its control surfaces, and I've crippled both its engines. So I go RTB, and that was the end of the match anyway. There are only 2 AI left up, and as I turned away to head back to base for my first load of fuel, only 5 minutes fuel left in the tank and the ammo, our Sea Meteor, who had just freshly repaired, there's the kill there, just freshly repaired and reloaded his guns, arrived on site to deal with the remaining AI. So, I come in third place with 4 kills, 2 player, 2 AI. Big shout out to TX1000 in the F3 Meteor, with 3 player kills, 2 AI kills, making up his 5 kill ace in a day, and to XXXXXXXXX1 in his A26 Invader with 34 ground kills, just showing that the A26 isn't as bad as people think it is. Also a shout out to first place on the enemy team, 4 kills under heavy fire, did damn well. So I walked away from that match with 80,340 Silver Lions, 12,168 mod research points, and 9,126 aircraft research points. And as you can see, my Bearcat wasn't fully upgraded. I have yet to unlock the engine. That's where I'm up to in the upgrades at this stage in time. The last upgrade I got for this plane was actually the custom ammunition belts for the 20mm. So the Bearcat, part of the reason why it's taken me so long to upgrade it is I hate flying aircraft that are ridiculously overpowered, and the Bearcat is. The only time I ever feel it's a fair fight in the Bearcat is if I'm facing a German team that consists of nothing but TAs and 162s. If the Russian team I'm fighting is nothing but LA9s. At the moment, the Tempests don't even feel like too much of a threat. They really need the Sea Fury to start lining up against the Bearcats, which is coming in time. As I said during the match, I think this is an aircraft that needs a new home, much like the 262 needs a new home. And I think changing it to a 6-era format, with Era 5 being a mix of prop or super prop aircraft and the first generation of jets, would be a perfect solution to the current problem. Anyway, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this video. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more. Fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.